In this video, we're going to walk through 10 books about money that have changed my perspective on how to optimize my time and money. Let's dive in. Look, something you have to realize is that there are only 3 ways to increase your income and net worth. Invest more time, invest more money, or decrease your expenses. If you like content like this, consider subscribing to this channel, liking this video, and leaving a comment down below. It helps me a ton, and it's completely free to you. Enjoy. Our first book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a fan favorite. Kiyosaki grows up in a household where his dad emphasizes increasing his active income through more education. While not a bad pursuit, I'm certainly grateful for my bachelor's degree in finance. Kiyosaki learns from his friend's dad or his rich dad of a better way. Turn money into more money. For younger people, finding ways to leverage your knowledge, skills, and connections now to maximize your active income while keeping your living expenses low presents amazing opportunities to optimize wealth for the future. Take the median household income in the US, for example. A traditional budget may look like the following. Income of around $75,000 a year, or about $62 a month. Got 15% taxes, around $940 a month. Your benefits, health insurance, 401k, all that good stuff, around $320 a month. Charity of around $500 a month. Mortgage and rent, $1,800. Utilities, $300. Food, $500. Eating out, $400. Travel, $250. Entertainment, $100. Clothes, $100. Car payment, $400. Gas, $150. And another miscellaneous for $150. So that would leave the average household with about $350 a month left over. Although that's a fine number to start with for savings and investing, imagine if you could trim all your expenses by 20% and have over $1,350 a month to save and invest. Over a year, $1,350 a month is $16,200, or $162,000 over a decade, without growing contributions or accounting for growth from investments. Although cutting one's expenses by $1,000 a month may seem tough, Kiyosaki also emphasizes learning skills to increase your active income too. And remember, if you don't make this much, that's fine. This is a benchmark for 50% of US households. If you make more, great. If you make less, start with your own figures and work backwards into how much you can afford to save and invest every month. A good rule of thumb is 10% of your incomes should go to your savings. Spend the rest and be glad you did. Wait until the end of the video for the last book, which gives specific step-by-step advice on how to accumulate wealth. Although people generally think about being a doctor or lawyer as having high incomes, and they generally do, here are a few high-income, lower barrier to entry jobs to consider that earn over $75,000 per year. A salesperson, auto, solar, pest control, security, a trucker, real estate property manager, real estate agent, traveling nurse, plumber, electrician, dental hygienist, web developer, air traffic controller. The major takeaway from this book is to get creative with your personal finance journey. There are hundreds of roads that lead to financial freedom. All of them require some near-term sacrifice, but that's much better than being stuck working in your retirement years. Take some steps today to increase your active income, decrease your expenses, and watch your wealth grow. Book 2, Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Books 1 and 2 are Robert Kiyosaki. He's a great author, has a lot of great principles. The main principle from this book is you don't have to be tied to your desk to earn financial freedom. The quadrants. The E quadrant, employee, work for others for their money. This is where most people are. The S quadrant, self-employed, work for oneself for their money. The B quadrant, business owner, own an asset or business that provides income for them. The I quadrant, investor, invest money into assets or businesses to create income for them with very little effort on their part. Most of us are in the E or S quadrant. I'm in both E and S right now with the intent to transition to B and eventually be a combination of B and I over time. Those stuck in the E quadrant may look at those in other quadrants confused at the risk entrepreneurs are taking. Entrepreneurs think differently. We think it's risky to be solely dependent on one income source that can be shut off at any time because of someone else's decisions outside our own control. Instead, entrepreneurs prefer to control our own destiny by looking into the world, finding and solving problems, and receiving thank yous in the form of money. Book 3, 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. I probably should have made this one number 4, but here we are. Main principle: maximize your time by working smart and focusing on the tasks that build income. Although it sounds crazy to have a 4-hour work week, it's a lot more possible than some might think. Most people measure their productivity by time spent working. It's not the right metric. Most people waste a lot of time just for the sake of putting hours in. One of his great quotes is, "Doing something unimportant well does not make it important." So instead of doing very little in a 40-hour work week, just focus on doing the few things that will lead to the biggest progress. Another big point from Tim is validating your product or service. One thing I am doing with this channel is putting out a few videos like this to see if people want to see more content like this. If they do, I'll put out more. If they don't, I'll know to pivot to something else early before spending a bunch of time on it. That's not to say you should put out bad content, products, or services quickly. Take some time to ask your audience about their problems, what sorts of solutions they would like, and how much they would be willing to pay for those solutions. If the payment matches or exceeds the time it would take to build the solution, you've got a potential gold mine on your hands. But without audience feedback early and consistently in the process, it's almost impossible to know if you're going to spend your time and money well on that product or service. For example, say you want to sell a course on how to attract high-end clients with minimal marketing spend. Instead of building the course and then trying to sell it, first try building a landing page and ask potential clients to pre-purchase their spot in the course. If you get some purchases, you know you're onto something and need to build the course down. That's the easy part compared to selling. If you don't get any purchases, you know the market isn't receptive to your idea and you should move on to the next idea. The last point in Tim's thesis is to charge a premium in order to need less clientele to achieve your target cash flow and growth goals. While Tim's idea is valid for new and innovative products, be careful not to price yourself out of your own market. Pricing strategy is a delicate balance between not charging enough, too much strain on your customer service, and charging so much that no one buys it. NVIDIA is a great example of charging a premium for a product everyone wants. At their peak, their H100 processors were being sold for 10x the cost to make them. When you build a great product for a receptive market, don't be afraid to ask for top dollar. As long as the client sees exponentially more value in the use of the product than what they are paying you, a figure you should try to uncover prior to the sale, they'll have no issue paying you a premium for your product or service. Book 4, The Millionaire Fastlane by M.J. DeMarco. In this book, the main principle is to invest time in work that generates passive income by creating a product or system that's capable of earning an income long after the initial time investment. There's 3 main principles in this book, or main topics that he goes over. And I go off of the WIP method that I created when I was reading this book. First, W, define wealth. Then I, income independence. And finally, P, become a producer. So first, W, define wealth. DeMarco says that wealth isn't really about money, it's about 3 things. It's about meaningful relationships, health, and freedom. If you can attain these 3 things in life, you're doing great, and that's what wealth is all about. Next is income independence. To make your income independent from your time, you have to unlink it from the hours you put into work. You have to build a great product or company that starts to produce passive income even when you're sleeping. Finally, is to become a producer. To break out of the rat race and to create a great product or service that people will pay for, leading to the passive income we all crave, you have to start thinking like a producer and less like a consumer. So what does that mean? What product could you create or service could you provide today to make someone's life more productive, less expensive, or more fulfilling? Think of something that bugs you, try to find a solution to it, see if someone will pay for it. That's how you start thinking like a producer. Book 5, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So I think the premise of this book is interesting, but I recently come to learn that the premise may be false. Either way, it's included in the video, so we'll talk about it. Apparently, Napoleon Hill's research study was supposed to be predicated on a meeting that he supposedly had with Andrew Carnegie. However, that meeting may or may not have ever happened. Supposedly, Hill got inspiration to go have interviews with over 500 self-made millionaires. Either way, the goal of Napoleon Hill writing the book was to inspire people to shift their mindset from one of scarcity, dollars in, dollars out, to one of abundance. If I can't afford this now, how do I sell something or trade something to be able to afford this desire? Hill prompts people to stop standing on the sidelines and to take action. Hill talks about the importance of having faith in your abilities and being able to use faith to translate your desires into reality. There's a lot of other great nuggets in this book, but I'll leave it at this point. In order to become a self-made millionaire, you have to shift your mindset to believing that first, that's possible for you, and second, how do you take actionable steps every day to get there? Book 6, the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 23. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. I love this verse because it's been instilled in me from a young age that if you work hard and you have a vision and you surround yourself with the right people, you keep trying and you're persistent, you're eventually going to attain the goals that you've set out for yourself. And it's not included in this video, but another book that I love on inspiration is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he essentially talks about the value of putting together systems to achieve those goals that you've set out for yourself. So circling back to the book of Proverbs, to this specific verse, you work hard, you're going to have success in your life. If you're just talking about working hard or you're just talking about what other people are doing, it's probably not going to lead to much. Book 7, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley. Great book about how your neighbor may be a millionaire and you might not know it. Many millionaires are self-made via small businesses they have built, bought, or inherited that they have invested in for decades. Self-made millionaires may be plumbers, carpenters, teachers, firefighters, doctors, etc. Wise handling of one's finances leads to greater likelihood of building and maintaining wealth over having a big income. Someone with $50,000 a year salary can become a millionaire by the time they retire through the wise handling of their funds, whereas someone with a $500,000 a year salary might be broke by the time they retire because they've spent it all in the meantime. It's all about how you manage your money and the investments that you make along the way. This book is a great reminder of the many people, both from great circumstances as well as humble circumstances, that can and have become millionaires, and how they've done that and continue to do that. Book number 8, Spin Selling by Neil Rackham. I love this book because of its focus on the sales process and how important that is for every entrepreneur, not just salespeople. Spin selling is a sales methodology which stands for S, situation, P, problem, I, implication, N, need payoff. First, let's get into S, situation. Situation goals and questions help reps discover the status quo. Use these questions to understand business goals, processes, and other environmental factors. P, problem. Problem questions help reps uncover the buyer's problem. Use these questions to reveal areas of opportunity, whether stated outright or inferred. I, implication. Implication questions drive urgency around solving a problem. Use these questions to show buyers why they need to change. N, need payoff. Need payoff questions guide buyers to see the benefits of solving the problem and the payoff for taking action now rather than later. Use these questions to move the buyer towards a specific next step. Did you notice how all the parts of the acronym focus on asking questions? A great salesperson is an active listener that strives to understand their clients' needs from the first time they interact to when they close the sale. Book 9, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Never Split the Difference is my second favorite book on money, and it's not even on money, it's really about deal negotiation. I've listened to this book several times over the last year, and I'm super excited to include it in this series. My all-time favorite is coming up next to round out this list of 10 money books to break you out of the rat race. Chris Voss is a former FBI hostage negotiator turned professional negotiator. In this epic book, he describes the exact tactics he used to get bank robbers to turn themselves in, terrorists to let hostages go, and how moms get their kids to sleep. A few important takeaways include: negotiation begins when the universally applicable premise that people want to be understood and accepted. If you can validate others' emotions and create enough trust and safety for a real conversation to begin, then you can make progress on an otherwise immovable conversation. Use mirrors to encourage the other side to empathize and bond with you. Keep people talking, buy your side time to regroup, and encourage your counterparts to reveal their strategy. Number 3, tactical empathy brings our attention to both the emotional obstacles and the potential pathways to getting an agreement done. Number 4, giving someone's emotion a name, otherwise known as labeling, gets you close to someone without asking about external factors you know nothing about. And number 5, no provides a great opportunity for you and the other party to clarify what you really want by eliminating what you don't want. If you read one book from this list, I would highly recommend this one. And finally, book 10, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. The Richest Man in Babylon is my favorite finance book and one that has changed my mindset the most. I've probably read this book over 50 times. I love it that much. It lays out a set of core principles that anyone of any income can apply and become wealthy over time. Here are those principles. Save at least 10% of everything you earn and do not confuse your necessary expenses with your desires. Work hard to improve your skills and ensure a future income because wealth is the result of a reliable income stream. You cannot arrive at the fullest measure of success until you crush the spirit of procrastination within you. Number 4 dives into the 7 simple rules of money. Number 1, start thy purse to fattening, save money, going back to the save 10% of your income rule. Number 2, control thy expenditures, don't spend more than you need. Again, don't confuse your necessary expenditures with your wants. Number 3, make thy gold multiply, invest wisely. Number 4, guard thy treasures from loss, avoid investments that sound too good to be true. Number 5, make of thy dwelling a profitable investment, own your home. Number 6, ensure a future income, protect yourself with life insurance. Number 7, improve thy ability to earn, strive to become wiser and more knowledgeable. If someone will do these basic things, they will surely be rich in the near and long term. If you made it to this part in the video, thanks for listening. Please subscribe to the channel, as I'll be putting content out pretty regularly through the end of the year and into next year and hopefully forever into the future. But towards the end of the year, we'll reevaluate to see what's working and see what people would like to see more of. I hope you enjoyed it as much or more than I did making the video. I had a lot of fun and was reminded of the lessons I learned from all of these books. Looking forward to the next one.